Certified Lover Boy to me was him just admitting his insecurities. Like, I got that the entire time. But I had already been okay. In Take Care, I was suspected of him being insecure, right? And in the follow-up albums, right, we got Nothing Was the Same. I was like, okay, he's insecure, okay. And album after album after album, I was like, and so this to me was just like, oh, he's insecure and he's been hurt and he's afraid of getting hurt even more because of his insecurities. And you can see that throughout the album. Like, boom. Start of the album kicked off with a bang, right? We get our classic kind of Drake slow start, champagne poetry, crazy sample, like absolutely. I'm so in love with that sample. Like, I love that. The classic Drake flow, like that Take Care. He literally says in the song, effortless flow, and I feel like, I mean, that's the best way to describe what his flow was in the song. I love the switch up and the flip of he had the bury me now money bars. Like, it was just like he came in with straight just like, look, this is the OG Drake you talking to. This is boss Drake you talking to. This is not young Drake no more. This is boss Drake, right? He said even his staff is plotting extortion. Like, that part, that was a crazy bar to me. That stood out. The 25 little bar segment lineup that he did, like, that thing was cold. Orchestra keys, like, I felt like that was fire. The production on it, it was a great intro. But I will say it's not the best intro. If we look at all of the albums, I still don't think the best intro might have been Tuscan Leather. Nothing Was the Same, and I mean, it's hard to beat that, right? Second song, Poppy's Home. I mean, you gotta talk to the haters. Like, I feel like that's what that song was about. Like, look, I know y'all been waiting to have some type of critic, some type of critique. Like me, I'm literally critiquing his album. But Poppy's Home, Champagne Poppy's Home. He continued on, like, the sample vibe, which I feel like that's his comfort zone, right? That's where, like, for me, falling in love with Drake and so I was a fan of Drake with the first album. To be honest, I listened to the mixtapes, right? So there's that. I was a fan of him with that. Oh, one of my favorite bars from that, where he was like, girls is in the bathroom doing something that's not Pepsi. I was just like, okay, Coke line. Like, I feel like that was one of those bars that created, like, a visual. That song was dope to me. And like I said, that's his comfort zone. That's what we're used to. Girls Want Girls. I think it was, it was catchy. It was the whole, like, slow motion, slow down. But I'm be honest, it was forgettable. It wasn't skippable. Like, you could play it through the album, but it was forgettable. And Lil Baby's verse was just too long to me. I got bored. I'm just being honest. I got bored with his verse, and I was like, okay, this serves its purpose, like, but it was just too long. And so throughout, like, and I'll have closing, thoughts, right? Throughout the album, I feel like what was mismanaged was, like, not the choice of the features, but rather, like, the timing, the placement of some of the features were just mismanaged. And I feel like it could have been better. It could have been better executed. And on his previous albums, he has executed his features in a much better way. In the Bible, I feel like this was a waste of a Giveon verse. Like, he literally wasted this feature. It was like, I'm gonna be honest, based off of my opinion of what I heard on the album, it seems to me like when he has singers on, when he's singing, or like he doesn't want the singers to outshine him. And I'm like, low-key, that's kind of petty to me. Like that's the whole point of getting a singer. And then when he does have, like, this phenomenal singer and they out-sing them, he just won't sing on the song or won't be on the song completely. And for me, it shows, like, a little bit of insecurity that I feel like he has. But he shouldn't have that because he has a great voice. He's mastered how to use his voice. He's not a singer. You don't have to sing. but you can sing, Drake, and you don't have to do that. Like, you really don't. And so I feel like he placed Giveon way off at the end, so he wouldn't have to be compared with his voice to Giveon's voice, and that it just was a waste. I felt like he tried to be the main show of that song, and it took away from the song. Beginning half of the song, I was like, okay, like, that was like, all right. Like, I would have restructured the entire song. I would have had Giveon's part be like in the beginning, and then maybe lead into a Drake verse that bounced off of that. Giveon should have been on the hook. Like, he should have been the hook. Because the hook that you came up with at the beginning was just, it didn't do it for me. It didn't do it. And then Lil Durk spent the whole verse promoting his girl, which is shout out to him for boyfriend points. But at the same time, I'm like, okay. He did add some excitement to the track based off of the way the song was structured. Because, like I said, it just, I wasn't feeling the beginning of the song. I just really wasn't. Next song we got is Love All, and of course we had, it's The Rock, Jay-Z, it's The Rock. I mean, I feel like when these two team up, it's just, there's greatness that happens. I feel like what they got right is that they didn't have the beat take away from what it was that they were saying. Sometimes on a feature, you go so big that it'll take away from what it is. And I feel like they kept it simple and they kept a concise message throughout this song. So I think they got that right for sure. Of course, Hova had the bars, he had the boss bars. He came in with the OG bars, which is what we expect from him. It's like, yo, all right, Drake is gonna say it this way, and you're gonna come in with a different perspective. You're gonna come in with a billionaire perspective, and I feel like he delivered that. I love the hook, they never care until it's RIP. I feel like this really taps into the theme, the overall theme, and I'll tell you a little bit more at the end of what I got from the album. It was like a concise through line through a lot of his songs, with I guess you could say my conclusion of the album. Moving on, we got Fair Trade with Travis Scott, and this delivered what I thought it was going to deliver. It gave me very Travis Scott vibes. Drake came in with the Travis Scott bouncy flows, just, you know what I'm saying, just the head banging. The whole time we was head banging, and then Travis Scott came in with his mama, and then he came in with he came in with the sicko mode flow, and it was dope. Like, I could play that song again and again and again. Now, mind you, if I had to have a critique, they didn't necessarily do something new. And you'll kind of see that theme for me pop up. But it's not a negative theme, because overall, I think it was a great song. It was well put together from start to finish. The production quality was fire. Even if you look at it from an engineer's perspective, they even gave Drake the similar, like, voice auto-tune that Travis Scott has. So that way, like, when Drake's voice came in and then Travis Scott's voice, it blended so well and concise. It was a thorough, well put together, play over, do over song. So I like it. Was it the best song in the project? Now, probably if you're a Travis Scott fan, you would say that, right? But in my personal opinion, because that's why we watching, right? Boo boo. It wasn't the best song on the project. It was in there though. I could put that in the top 8 songs of the project for sure. And of course, we got the standout hit, Way Too Sexy, when as soon as it drops, you know that, all right, this is what the club's gonna be for the next 6 months. I'm too sexy for my... We're gonna hear that. And then it used a method. There's literally a method. There's a strategic way you can make it hit. And what a lot of songwriters are doing these days is that they're taking old melodies, taking old cadences, and they're just throwing them on a new beat. And that's essentially all they did. And they added a little bit of sauce. They added the 808 bounce. And the whole song from start to finish was catchy, catchy, catchy. Drake came in with catchy bars. Future came in with catchy bars, and it was ratchet, and it was a good ratchet. It was good. You know that they going up in Magic City tonight with I'm too sexy, and the ratchets just throwing it back. They throwing it back to the song, and I love the fact that they kept true to that sound, right? They kept true to that ATL vibe, and then it was like, okay, by the time Young Thug, he didn't even have to do much. He just wrote the beat, right? Like, he literally, because Drake and Future had already killed it. It was like throwing him an alley-oop. It was like, all right, finish this off. We need another extra voice to hear, but we already have everybody hooked. Slam dunk. That is the standout song, because like, we can just predict that's going to be a number 1 hit, right? We hear it, you know a hit when you hear it, boom, it's a hit. Is it the best song? That's a matter of opinion of what you feel like is the best version of Drake, I feel like, on this album. But will this be the biggest song? I think that's going to be the biggest song on the album. TSU, which I feel like is where he got into his element of storytelling. He had, of course, the catchy bars that he had, but I love this concept that he was telling, and this goes back through this through line. There's a through line that I got throughout the entire album. I love this concept of him telling the story about this stripper who has mommy issues and daddy issues, but now she's trying to switch it up. She's trying to get into real estate or whatnot, and then you really kind of see this play out in society in real life now. We see these strippers turn around and go to, Love and Hip Hop or these other reality shows. They get off the pole and they try to do something else, or they're influencers, and this is no judgment, they're influencers and they're Instagram models, and they get the bag that way. They don't have to. He literally said in the song, we used to be doing pornos, but you ain't trying to do that now, right? Like, you switch it up on me, boo-boo. You get it all sophisticated. And I love this story and this element, and him giving us a glimpse of his world and his dating experiences that he's had. So as far as storytelling, I felt like that was really dope, especially because I feel like some songs Drake makes for the females, some songs he makes for the fellas. I feel like this might have been a little bit of a combination of both. Then one of my favorite songs was Pipe Down. That's just because that's a personal preference of, like I said, I think Drake has an amazing voice, an underrated R&B voice, and this ability, and I constantly hear his influences, his R&B influences. So I love that. I think it had one of the coldest samples on the project. Coldest samples. And then I feel like, again, this theme, right? And I'll talk about it. I'm going to tap into it. So you got to stay tuned. I'm going to tap into it. But it was this underlining theme, right? That went right along with Certified Loverboy throughout the entire album. And I just love R&B Drake. I don't know. Like I said, it's a personal preference. And that's a dope thing about somebody that versatile, is you can pick and choose what type of style you like, because he can give every which way, right? Every which way. Yeba's Heartbreak. I thought it was, Drake's always, showcasing other people and putting us on to other people. And he did that in some of his biggest albums. We got to know, even though I knew him before, but the world got to know Kendrick Lamar. The world got to know The Weeknd. The world got to know Party Next Door, Wizkid. These people were already, had fan bases of their own in some cases, but he puts them on a worldwide platform. And Yeba, I just got introduced to her, and call me clueless, but I'm sure that I'm not the only one. And she has an amazing voice, and I thought it was a beautiful way to showcase and show love. But at the same time, it goes back to my note that when there is an excellent singer, Drake won't get on the track and sing. And that is my challenge to him, is to have so much confidence in your ability to know that you could be on a track and sing with somebody like Yeba. You guys don't have the same type of vocals, right? But you do have something unique that you bring to the track. I would love to see, what does a Drake John Legend track sound like together of them singing? Like, what does a Drake Adele track sound like with them singing? Like, what would a Drake Giveon track, what should have happened, right, sound like with them singing, with them going back and forth with the hook and going back and forth? Like, that's what I feel like what's left for Drake to expound upon, if he even wants to, right, would be that element of taking things to the next level of singing. Because it's like, bro, all right, we already know you can out rap everybody. Like, what's the challenge? I feel like you should always be trying to push yourself, and I feel like he didn't push himself in that way on the album, and I think he had a golden opportunity to, but he dropped the ball on that one. And then we have No Friends in the Industry. I just felt like it was, it was macho, it's machismo, right, mode. It was the rapper mode of like him puffing out his chest. Production on that was dope. Obviously, the Shikari bar, that stood out to me. And it's competitive Drake talking about, like, look, like, I be singing on tracks, bro, but But I still get it in with the bars that I'm still top 5. Like, and I'm still in my head, I'm number 1. Like, and just putting that out there, and of course you got the whole, at the same time, it's like you got Kanye West and the whole Donda situation, so it just heats up. It keeps it mixing. Controversy and throwing shade at people. Petty Drake is kind of funny sometimes. Like, and there were some definite petty bars in No Friends in the Industry. I was like, Oh, and make sure if you want to catch my full reaction, I did a full reaction. You got to join Scribe Squad members only. Scribe Squad members only. Head over to scribecash.com. When you do that, you'll also get my own personal cell phone number. You can text me personally. I put up 2 reactions a day on there. Full album reactions, right? No skips, no blocks, all that good stuff. Good stuff. Very good stuff. And then in addition to that, you can get a 15-minute Zoom call with me. So make sure you join Scribe Squad members only. Head over to scribecash.com or click the link in the description below. Knife Talk, Project Pat. I love that track because, he brought it back to H-Town. You heard me? He brought it back to the South. You heard me? Like, it's just that bounce. That bounce. And it was just like the beat and the intro of Project Pat, like, it did it. It wasn't a whole lot that they had to do on the track. I thought 21 Savage was a good choice for incorporating new school and old school. Like, so I like the feature selection, but his verse was too long. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I in this particular song, I couldn't listen into, it was practically 2 minutes was just 21 Savage. Like, it sounded like 21 Savage, Project Pat featuring Drake, which is cool, but it's like, this is your album, so I wanted to listen to you. That's just my opinion, but yeah. All right, up next you got 7 a.m. on Birdie Path. I love that. Classic Drake, Take Care, sound, Sonics, OG flow. Like, he came in, he was talking about boss up. Like, he's like, look, y'all keep telling me I'm washed up. This is the golden age. I'm still getting it. I'm still killing the numbers. I'm still doing all the records. I'm still number 1. Like, he said something like he's been around so long since, I think it was like T-Pain been giving us Nuevo or whatever. I was like, like, his deal came in on the facts. I was like, oh my God, yeah, you dating yourself. He been in the game for a minute, bro. And I love his comfort zone. It never gets old to me. Race My Mind was R&B jam. I love R&B Drake, man. R&B Drake be killing it. Like, that's what I said. And then I could totally hear the Aaliyah influence, and I feel like that was perfect timing because, as we know, Aaliyah's music hit streaming platforms, so it just kind of lined up. And that beat, the beat was just knocking. It was giving me 90s feel, like just that old school, that bounce, baby, that bounce. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this is Loverboy. And so honestly, when I originally heard the Certified Loverboy album, I was expecting a little bit more R&B than the hip hop, but I'm still leave the album satisfied. So don't think that. Like I said, I love R&B Drake. I feel like that's like, we need more R&B Drake. Let's put it that way. Fountain featuring Tim's. Now, we know Tim's is from the Essence song that went viral with Wizkid. As soon as I heard that album on Wizkid, I was like, bro, that song's out of here. I literally had it on repeat. It took almost 3-4 months before it actually went viral, and it went viral because of TikTok, and then everybody picked it up. I was like, bro, I've literally been bumping this for forever. But anyway, Tim's, dope vocalist. I think she has a really good future ahead of her. I will say that this had the island vibe, right? Like, this had that same, and Drake has been on that. He's put us on to, like I say, he's put the world on to so many dope island artists. And so I think that this was in true fashion for him to hop on that. And he's been known for people who pop off. He puts them on a song and just blows them up even bigger, right? Like, that's dope. But it's not as catchy as the Essence song. So for me, it's a little bit of a disappointment because I was like, okay, he got Tim's on it. We gonna have another crazy hit. Do I feel like it's gonna get played in the club? Yeah, but that's just based off of who's on the song, right? And then there was a little bit of element of catchiness, but this is another moment where I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, Drake, you should have had Tim sing the hook part that you sang, right? And then you should have been like, I feel like the roles should have been a little bit more reversed. Like on the times he has where he could take a back seat, I feel like he doesn't do that. And for me, I think it's a little bit of pettiness. I think it's a little bit of like, bro, you're not gonna outshine me on my song. So I feel like there's an element of insecurity there. And I feel like it doesn't matter, bro. You've already made it 10 times over. It is a-okay for somebody to outshine you on the song. Like that's just so dope to me. It's like, oh, okay, this person just went off. I'm Drake. I'm so big. I gotta let this person just have their moment on my album. Like that part. Like when he's supposed to do that, he does it. And then in other areas, it's like, okay, this person had this much time. Like, why? And I feel like you gave that person that much time just to show that that person wasn't better than you. Like, stop being petty. Like, you don't have to be petty. You just, like, you have too many millions of dollars for you to be petty. Stop being petty. Get Along Better featuring Ty Dolla $ign. Again, I would say this was another opportunity where I clearly can hear that it's a Ty Dolla $ign track. Like, I'm the type of person that I usually know the songwriter behind the song when I'm hearing the song, because I just know that many songwriters, right? Been in the industry for a while. It's honestly not that many people. Like, it's like I could count probably, I'm gonna say like 10 people who write most of the biggest hits that are like R&B hits. And Ty Dolla $ign's been killing it. You got Eric Bellinger. Now you got Vito. You got Troy Taylor, Shasha Jones, Seven Streeter, Pooh Bear, like, and then what's his name? JaVale McGee actually kind of got in the mix a little bit recently. And there's a few others, right? Sorry if I forgot any names. We're talking about, I guess, young people, right, that are writing the majority of these songs. Of course, you still got OGs like Neo, the freaking Babyface, and shout out to the homie Leon Thomas. There's a very few people. And I know the majority of them. So as soon as I heard this track, I didn't even need to see Ty Dolla $ign featured on it. I heard the cadence. I heard the tone. I was like, oh, Ty wrote this. And then you hear it on the background. This is why I'm like, low-key, you're being petty too, because you will put him in the background, but you didn't put him on the song because you heard him at the end of the song and old boy was singing his head off. So it's like, that was a dope opportunity for you guys to really collaborate. But you decided that I don't want to get outshined, so I'm not going to let Ty Dolla $ign sing the hook. Or I'm not going to let Ty Dolla $ign have just as much time as me. Petty. Like, stop being freaking petty, bro. You're too talented. You're too dope. And, like, you don't have to do that. Like, I just don't understand. How many stadiums have you sold out? How many times have you been platinum? Why are you still insecure about this? I just don't understand. Then we had You Only Live Once featuring Rose and Wayne. I feel like this was the best feature put together song. So meaning that best song with features put together on the track. They gave us that classic Maybach music, trap, like, sound. And it took me back. It really took me back. And I was like, oh, yeah. Headbanger. All the bars we needed. The Biggest Boss, Ricky Ross, one of my favorite rappers of all time. Like, and when I want to feel rich, I put on Rick Ross. That's what I do. I go in the car and I put on, and I feel like a freaking boss. Like, just, and then we had Lil Wayne Went the Hell Off. Now, we know Lil Wayne don't really be on topic. It's okay, though. He's still dope. What makes him dope is that he invented a style of rap and executed that in a way that nobody else was doing at that time. And he gave us that classic vibe on this particular track, and I love that, and I absolutely love that. And this was just put together. It was just like, yeah, like, how is this not a dope song? It was one of those songs you hear a dope song, you know a dope song. This was a dope song. Production from start to finish, songwriting, bars, like, one of my faves for sure. I Am Why, or I Miss You Too, Kid Cudi. I feel like that was a song for the fans, which is great. Sometimes you just do things like that for the fans. Could I have done without it on the album? Yeah, I wouldn't have missed it, but that's me personally. I'm not a diehard Kid Cudi fan. So if you were a Kid Cudi fan, which is great, because I feel like it's paying homage. We know that Kid Cudi paved the road for people like Kanye to sing, and Travis Scott, and like hearing Kid Cudi again in these years, you'd be like, oh yeah, Travis Scott for sure, like, was influenced by Kid Cudi. And then Drake, like, that Kid Cudi went through the woods so that, you know, Drake could be out on the beach, for a metaphor, so to speak. So I think doing a song with him was dope in that sense, and it honestly sounded like a Kid Cudi song featuring Drake, which was cool, because like I said, that was a good moment to give somebody some shine. Not that he needs any though, but I don't know, I could have did without the song. I wouldn't have missed the song. The album was dope. Like, if you take that song away, does it take anything from the album? No, it doesn't take anything from the album for me. Is it a well put together song? Yeah, it was good. It just wasn't that special to me. That's me. But I'm sure Kid Cudi fans probably was like, whoa, and blew up. It's like, yeah, they did a song together. So I understand it. I get why it was on here. And it was a love. You know, he has all that beach LSD vibration stuff. And it fits. It fits the theme. It didn't move me. That's me, though. That's just me. Effing fans. At the beginning of it, I was like, I was like, it gave me, I could totally tell that it was Party Next Door. He either wrote it or Ye Ali, he writes for Party Next Door too. And it just, like, I didn't need it. I didn't need that. Second part of the song, though, was great. And he, again, had that theme, that through line theme. And he hit us with some bars, and I feel like it just vibe. Right? I wish it would have just started off with that. And then last but not least, the remorse. I put that one of the bars that stood out to me, because I've always asked this question, and I feel like as a fan, when they answer a question for us, it's like, okay, now I can just take a deep breath. And he said he was done acting. And I had always wondered, I was like, when is he going to get back on the screen? When is Drake going to do movies? Because, I mean, he can act. He can really act. And so I guess maybe he hated it. I don't know, he didn't say that, but at least he said he's done with it. He's done with being on the screen. So I don't think that we're gonna get that. But if Drake ever retires from music and he decides that he wants to go into movies, or he wants to go into television, I'm glued. I'm right there. I'm right there with it. Just right here. Just for sure right here with it. Actually, I'm gonna get the actual, because I'll be right there. So I love that. Like, I absolutely love that. And I feel like it was, classic Drake endings of bars. Remind us that you're a rapper first. You're a rapper who can sing, not a singer who raps. And then let the sample play out. Let it play out so we can sit back and we can meditate on all the amazingness that happened with the album. All right, so takeaways for me. Like I said, I talked about it in the beginning. I was going to tell you, so I'm going to tell you now. There is a through line theme that I get. Certified Lover Boy, to me, was not like a confession. Certified Lover Boy, to me, was him just admitting his insecurities. Like, I got that the entire time. But I had already been, okay, in Take Care, I was suspected of him being insecure, right? And in the follow-up albums, right, we got Nothing Was the Same. I was like, okay, he's insecure, okay? An album after album after album, I was like, and so this to me was just like, oh, he's insecure and he's been hurt. And he's afraid of getting hurt even more because of his insecurities. And you could see that throughout the album. Like, boom. One of the ones that stuck out the most to me, right, was Pipe Down. And I said that Drake is the epitome of unrequited love. And that's giving love, giving this unconditional love to somebody that just can't give it back, that literally is not capable of giving back. So Drake, if you're ever watching this, tip of advice, you're choosing the wrong women. So let's just start there. What you really need is you need a me. Because the women that you're choosing are going to let you down every single time. And you're too busy. Drake is too busy being Captain Save a Ho. So that's why you haven't been able to find the love that you truly deserve, because you're giving to somebody who can't give back. They have too many issues. You keep dating strippers, right? And this is not a judgment statement, because this is America. You should be able to do whatever it is you want to do, how it is that you want to do, right? But by saying this statement, it's just me saying this. Like, it's just like, okay, we could say that certain, like, typically speaking, right? It's just like, how can I say this without being totally offensive? I don't know if there's a way around this. Certain jobs, certain people who work certain occupations happen. Studies show that people who work certain occupations typically have certain backgrounds, right? And these backgrounds could be advantages or disadvantages in their occupation, or the reason why they got there, or, you know, it plays a role. Like if we look at the NBA, right? Overwhelmingly in the NBA, if you look at the majority of people, they come from a place of poverty, impoverished. And so theories are that coming from this place actually helps them to succeed, because they have to have a certain mindset and a certain level of focus to overcome those circumstances in order to be successful, right? And there's this overwhelming need. And so if you just do a study about most strippers, right, a lot of them come from similar backgrounds. A lot of them have similar issues, like the ones he spoke of: daddy issues, mommy issues, just family issues, self-esteem issues that may have led them to choose the career that they chose. Some of them haven't, you know, some people are just choosing to strip, take their clothes off, whatever the situation is, right? Because that's what they're entitled to do. But a lot of them come from certain backgrounds. So you keep encountering these females because, and I'm not here to get motivational, right? We don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. And so what happens is, in order for Drake to get the type of female that he wants, he would have to change who he is. He would have to work on his own insecurities. He talks about issues that he has, and I don't know all the details, nor do I claim to be a therapist, know all the details. Issues that he's had over countless albums about issues that he's had with his mom and the way he grew up, and issues that he's had with his father and the way he grew up. And then also, you know, being biracial in this world, in a hip-hop world, and how that affected him. And so until you deal with your own issues and your own insecurities, right, it's gonna be hard for you to attract a certain type of love, because you're gonna keep seeking, you're gonna keep thinking, and you're too busy trying to save a hoe instead of trying to find somebody who matches your energy, right? Or who matches the energy that you want to portray. And so, like, what you need, in my opinion, right? And who cares about my opinion? Well, I guess some people do. About 80,000 of you as of today. What you need is a female, right, who has their own stuff together, who doesn't need you, and who's with you just because they love you, not because they need you. And I feel like because he didn't get a certain type of love, what he's constantly seeking, right, is somebody who needs his love. Because if they need his love, then there's a certain level of dependency. Because if you were abandoned in certain aspects as a child, then what you want is security, right? What you want is the reinforcement of I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you intro. And you're seeking that constantly. You're seeking that love and that validation, but you're seeking it from people who are incapable of giving it, because how are they going to give you love if they've never seen it themselves? How is a female who doesn't have a relationship with a father going to know how to be in a relationship with a real man? How is a female who had a dysfunctional mother going to know how to be a wife and a mother? Not going to happen. So you keep dating these people, right? Keep dating these people who are incapable of unrequited love. That is what Drake is constantly getting, is an unrequited love. And I feel bad for him. If I'm gonna be honest, I just feel bad for him. And it's the same love that, even though, you know, he talks about it with females, right? He talks about it with females, but he also talks about it when it comes to the industry. Like, there's a part of that as a rapper that I can relate to, about wanting to be liked amongst your peers, right? But at the same time, for me, it's like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, it would be great if the other rappers like me and the industry like me, but at the end of the day, I really don't care, because I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in what it is that I bring to the table. And as long as I got fans that like it, I'm good, B. Like, I am good. And I think there's still a part of him. There's that chip. There's that pettiness that I talk about. There's that little petty Betty that keep sipping out of him, that he feels like, I still need that love. I still need that attention, right? I still need that affection. And this is what I say. I feel like at the same time, it's a strength. and it's a weakness. Because he seeks that, that's what drives him to keep getting better and better and better, because he's chasing the affection, he's chasing the love, but it jacks him up in his personal life, right? And at the same time, there's moments that I feel like he's missing that I talked about throughout the album that could have been bigger, right? If he didn't have that little chip on his shoulder, if he was really secure in who he was as an artist, as a man, and everything that he brought to the table, it wouldn't roll out like that. So that's on that note. That's the theme, right, that I saw throughout, like, all the songs. Every single song, you can hear an element of like, you're insecure about this, insecure about that, insecure about this, like that part. And the parts that he showed confidence in, I still saw a crack. Like, I still saw a crack in it. Like, it's a little bit, it was like, if somebody tests you, are you really that confident about it, or is this the show? But I like the fact that he's vulnerable too, because that's what makes him dope, is the fact that he's willing to talk about his feelings. That's a superpower in itself. Moving on, if I had to rank this album, I would put it, for me, it would be in my top 5. Take Care is still number 1 though. Like, that's number 1. That has not been topped yet. I feel like this album was really like a combination of, like, it was almost like he made a greatest hits album, right? Like, I feel like the approach was, I'm gonna make a greatest hits, and I'm gonna give everybody a song on here. I'm gonna give, if you like Mumble Drake, you like Bounce Drake, I'm gonna give you that song. If you like bars with sample Drake, I'm gonna give you that. If you like R&B Drake, I'm gonna give you that. If you like Island Ting, you like the Ting Drake, I'm gonna give you. It was like a greatest hits album. And if this were his last album, like if this is the last thing that he gave us, I would be satisfied. I've been satisfied with his catalog though. Like I said, you don't have anything else to prove, bro. You really don't. You've already killed it 10 times over. Like, you have nothing to prove. And so if this was the last one though, I could be satisfied, and I would play this album like over and over again. And I will be playing it over and over again. I'm gonna be honest. Even though I sit here and I critique the whole thing, I'm gonna play it again and again. And if I'm going out with my girls, too sexy for my, too sexy for my. I really am. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. But the whole point is for me to critique it and to give you my opinion of what the album is. If I had to rate it, like, we're going to go out of 10. If I had to rate it out of 10, I'm going to say it's an 8. And the reason why I say it's the 8 is because, not because of what he did on the album, because of the botched attempts at certain features. He missed opportunities at certain features, and that to me is a little painful. And so I'm like, dang, like, the Giveon feature could have been like, that could have been huge. That could have been big. Like, the Ty Dolla $ign feature could have been another smash. And so for me, and what I like about him is the fact that he makes albums, full albums, and he's able to do that because it's not like he needs sales. You don't have to push the single. His tour is going to sell out automatically. So I like the fact that he makes full conglomerate albums. There's not as many hits on this album as albums previously. Like, there was only one flat out stand out, this is gonna be number 1 hit, and this is Way Too Sexy. That's the only number 1. Now, will there be other number ones? Yeah, it'll be the other number ones because of the machine that's behind him anyway. Like, that part. And that's a whole nother conversation, boo-boo. But if I just had to go to play the album, like, what is a standout? There was only one number 1 standout out, and maybe the Travis Scott. I give that, and like, but it wasn't an outright hit. Outright hit was Way Too Sexy. Follow up hits, Travis Scott. Follow up hit, the Rick Ross, Lil Wayne. Follow up hit, the song with Tim's, like. But like, stand out, and Drake is known to have out of 30 songs. If Drake did 30 songs, he's known to have 10 that's just gonna be number 1. You hear it and it's like, that's out of here. That's gone. And I didn't get that from that album. So that's why it's an 8.5. It's an 8.5 for me. Is it dope? Is Drake still my husband? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let me know what else I should review. I know I'm gonna do Pink Floyd's album The Wall, because people have been telling me to do that for a long time. I know I'm gonna do Kanye West Donda, which should be interesting. If you want to watch me literally react to the song, then all you have to do is click the link in the description below. Be sure to hit the like button, sub button, bell button. Love ya. Gotta go, gotta freaking go.